Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Red Parrot channel. I am your host, Mary Ellen. This is an episode of Watercolor Wednesday where we're following along with @Andrea Nelson Art here on YouTube, and we are working in our practice book with all the practice exercises that she is giving us. I am doing week 13. We are probably... There was one I skipped because I didn't like. This week is a doozy. Very big doozy. Let's have just a drift through things we've done. This could deal with some outlining. I like that one. That was yesterday. This really appeals to me. This was the first time that I used the idea of having a mother color, which is a splodge in the palette of all of the colors and using a dab of that to put in each of the colors so that they are a little bit more harmonious and talky to each other. So we've got that. We have a palette of about 1 billion colors. I need a paper clip. So I think Shell, was it Shell? It might have been Shell. She was talking about using a paper clip to sort of clip down her pages as well. And the pen and ink crowd would not stand for such low things as paper clips. They have brass clips that are all name branded and all that kind of stuff, and just like, give me a break. Whatever. Okay, so we've got how many steps do we have? Broadly 11. Okay, so before we get painting, watercolor paints. I'm going to do that off screen so that I don't get water all over my space. There we are. And then step 1 is create. Oh, didn't expect that to have any color in it. Never mind, it'll be fine. So what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of each color in. Oops, that's not ideal. Okay, well, just keep going. I'm just doing this in the round just so that I can keep track of which ones I've done. More yellow. And I'm using a jar top to hold all of these paints. These are the Posh Beam paints, B-E-A-M. They are Canadian made by Indigenous woman business. And they are natural. So I have, oh, and brown. There we are. Okay, so this will be the mother color. This is fun. Okay, oh. So that's the mother color. It's kind of a brownie. Okay, good enough. Step 1, according to the instructions, paint a triangle house in red. And I have 2 brushes. Just because I have 2 brushes. So, step 1. And then take a little bit of this. And it just changes it ever so slightly. So I need to draw a triangle. Draw a triangle. We will call this an A-frame house. At least that's what she called it. Okay, so far we're doing brilliantly. Next step, we put in blobs of water, and then, previously we have done blobs of water where we have, let's say, created a circle and the entire inside of the circle has been colored in water. This time we want it literally blobby so that there is space, because we want to put branches in. So first thing I want to do, order is a lot. So this will be the pink that we will use. I'm going to just tone that down by a hair. So that's the paint. This slightly larger brush, but that'll be okay. We'll be fine. So let's see how that one worked. Can't see where the water is. Okay, so blobby water is hard to do. Not sure if that's any better. We'll see. Oops, that fell. Okay, there's two. And then she did kind of two and one more at the bottom. Okay, so far so good. Be a little freer, I suppose. My book. This is a book to make sure this doesn't fall. Stay. Okay, there's one. Stop. Okay, and we do one more. I think this is like a blobby lesson, or a lesson in I don't want to say applying watercolor, but the idea that watercolor is sometimes just applied with this kind of a light touch. Okay, 5 blobs. Done. Where's the thing? There you are. There we are. Now what do we need to do? Now what? Oof. Okay. Put in smooshes of flowers. Okay, so we're doing flower smooshes. And she was doing sort of like a bloop, bloop, bloop kind of thing with that sound effect. No, she wasn't. And I would like, what would I like? I would like a little bit of red. So we've got the red. Look at me. With a limited palette, I'm going to make a yellow, orange. Orange, yellow? I don't know. A different red, maybe. There we are, that's a little better. Okay. And so what did she do? She just sort of did like little hearts kind of thing. Okay. I think those are kind of large, but there we are. Maybe one more set around the house. Ooh, those just itty bitty. Okay. Now what do we do? Okay, so now we do a walkway, which is going to be side smooshes of the blue. Okay, that should be enough for now. Put some of this in. Just such a different color. So she said small this way. So we're doing sort of, and then large at the front. enough, I think. All right, now what do we do? And now we dry. So I'll be right back. Snacks in the fridge. Oops. Well, here's me reporting back and saying watercolors are watery. And I had an accident. And there's 2 spots that are still kind of wet, but I need to live my life, if you know what I mean. Will any of that lift? I'm gonna go with no. None of it will lift. This apparently is my first run off the page though. Okay, it's fine, it's a practice book. Okay, what do we need to do now? Paint the tree trunks brown and the flowers and stems green. Okay. I should put some more water on the watercolor paints. Brown. Andrea talked about not paying a lot of attention to the comment sections because there are often things that make her annoyed or are just kind of mean and upsetting. One of the comments that she got recently was when she did a triangle house, she made the chimney right off the side. And somebody wrote in and said, oh, well, that's not where you put a chimney. And So when Andrea was doing the branches, she was talking to this one presumes fictional writing in person that she named Helen, and she goes, yes, Helen, I know that they're not, that's not the way a chimney goes, but this is art and it's fantasy and chill. So I will say to Helen, here's my speech to Helen, you draw your drawing and you put the chimney where you want it. Okay, this kind of doesn't look like Andrea's. It's not supposed to. Comments are very hard because you can never know so much of where the receiver is in, the state the receiver is in, and the state that the writer is in. That one turned out all right. Say there's a big leeward wind that's happening here. It's making the tree go a squiff. There. Not opposed to that. It's a nice brown. What do I need to do next? I need to paint stems. Okay, scoop up some of this. Okay, stems and leaves. Okay, wow, this is gonna be a lot. There's a stem. Andrea also told Helen that this is like a fantasy picture, just to maybe help with the whole idea of we are not doing representational drawing at this point. Poor Helen. I'm sure she tried. I don't know if it would be any better if I had a thin paintbrush, or thinner. Possibly not. Okay, here we are. And then what happens? Wet on wet blue sky. So blue sky is the next 9 yards. So, oh, so I have the house at sort of the, I'm trying to figure out where the horizon line is. And I think it's got to be kind of like a little bit higher than the house. Alrighty. There. This is going to be wet on wet, so we can do blue. Some more blue again. I should mix using the larger brush. Get way more paint. Okay, and then we have to drop in a little bit of pink. Okay. And what do I want to do? I want to just get a dab of that to make that pink. That. And a dab of this to make this blue, that blue. Okay. And now I need to make it about there. All right. Well, let's see what we get. This is not wet on wet. It's just a scooshy, very wet paintbrush. Okay, and now we're going to drop in some pink. Okay, there we are. That's enough. Now we do the same thing. Oh, this grass is going to be forever. But with this great bright green. One of the things that I can tell from both Shell and my weekly videos on watercoloring, two things. Each of us are getting better and way more comfortable. And the second thing is our watercolor paints look like they are being used. And I cannot tell you the thrill it is to watch Shell and just sort of see, wow, she's like, look at all the paint that she's been using. And I think of it as much because I know that the same thing is happening to me. There, oops, wow. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of green. Okay. Let's do it this way. No, ooh, oh, look at that pretty green. Twang. I really like this green. Okay, good enough. Next side. Not gonna lie, these stretches where I could just go back and forth delight me. It's like, oh, well, that's way easier. And all this fiddly bitten and around these buddies. Okay, anything else that I think I need? Yes. That bit there, that bit there. There's a lot happening here. There. Is that part done? I'm laughing to myself because I have said I'm going to start here and go here, and grading the painting, it's like, oh, no idea what I'm doing, no idea what I'm doing. It's like I need to do the thing to then understand. It's like, oh, that's what I should be doing. Okay, I think I can stop fuffing around. Yep, we're done. Okay, now what do we need? Do not think we're done. We might have another drying sesh. Dry. Called it. Be right back. Snacks in the fridge. Okay, so there we are. The watercolor portion of the exercise is over. Now I gotta find my black Sharpie. A black Sharpie or just a blank permo marker. And one of these, this is a pen, but it's not a permanent marker. I want a permanent marker. Come on, I know you have one. Well, we might have to wander over here. Maybe we need to wander over here. Found it. Okay, now what's the directions? Chimney, windows, squiggles on trees and flowers. Okay, so let us do the house first. We don't need to worry about that. So basically what we are doing now is sort of drawing the house. And sure. Andrea, I think did a round door. Sure. We're going to do one window because that's all I can cope with at the moment. Does this work? Well, we're going to find out. Sort of. Okay, I wonder if this will help. This seems dangerous. But it does help. Okay. Now we do squiggles around the trees. And I think where there's branches, we can do that. There. All right. Well, this is not so bad. Perks it right up, really. I don't know if she did the trunks or not, but I'm going to. Okay. These squiggles make the eye so happy. It's like it wants the border. Okay, there's the trees. I need to do flowers. How am I going to do the flowers? Do little hearts. That's all she wrote. I like that an awful lot. More than I expected. And so there's two things happening. One is that it is the application of a kind of color down in approximate positions and shapes in some kind of layering, and then the pen gives it slightly more form, and then the brain is doing a ton of, not a ton of work, it is doing what it does best, and that is creating meaning out of shapes and creating patterns. And so it looks like it is a thing. Just for grins. I don't need them all. But even that, the brain is now saying, okay, these are something. That is so cool. Double thumbs up. This was a longie, but it was well worth the voyage. So that is all for now. Please take care of yourself. Stay out of trouble. Love you lots, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.